See the title of the chapter, Motion in a Plane. Title of chapter number 3 was Motion along a straight line. Straight line means one-dimensional space. Say
one-dimensional space.
And here it is not one-dimensional space, it is two-dimensional space, because plane means what? Look here. Say this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Then you can think of a plane passing through x and y-axis. It is this plane. Correct? It is called vertical plane. It is okay. Suppose you are taking two axes this way. Then passing through these two axes, it is this horizontal plane. It is this horizontal plane. Now take this surface of board. Say this is x-axis. Okay? Say this is y-axis. So surface of board is nothing but a plane passing through x and y. It is called two-dimensional space. Okay? Now we are going to consider motion of a body in a plane. Fine. Let us begin with a classification of all the physical quantities. All the physical quantities, I am writing PQ, physical quantities, can mainly be categorized into two categories. One category is called scalar. What is it called? Scalar. Another is called vector. Scalar is that physical quantity for the complete representation of which we require only magnitude. Only magnitude. Direction is not required at all. Direction is not required at all. Such physical quantities are called scalars. For example, mass of my body is 85 kilogram. Correct? That is sufficient. Okay? To describe mass, this value, this magnitude is quite sufficient. Then the opposite person will not ask a counter question. Who? 85 kilogram? In which direction? He will not ask this way. Because to express mass, direction is not required. Okay? So such physical quantities are called scalars. Correct? There are various scalars which we are going to study in physics. First, say time is a scalar quantity. Distance, not displacement, distance I am speaking, distance. Then mass, area, volume, density, temperature, work, then flux, then potential. All these quantities are scalars. Okay? Write down the examples. Examples of scalar. Right. Time, distance, area, volume, mass, density, work, power, temperature, flux, potential, etc. Look now. Which physical quantities are called vectors? Very simple. Any physical quantity for the complete representation of which we require both magnitude also and direction also is called vector. For example, displacement of any object, it is a vector quantity. How? I'm showing you. Suppose one sentence is given to us, one information. Particular train travels 50 kilometer. Particular train travels 50 kilometer. And then you are asked, find its final position. Find its not possible. Not possible. Because if the train starts from here, suppose, say this is ground, this is ground. If train starts from here, what is given to us? It travels by 50 kilometers. That's all. But in which direction is not given to us. So, whether it travels 50 kilometers this way, or this way, or this way, or this way, we don't know. So, we cannot find out its final position. Anna? So, unless and until displacement is completely known, magnitude wise also, direction wise also, then only you can find out the final position of the train, otherwise not. So displacement is a physical quantity for the complete representation of which we require both magnitude as well as direction. Such physical quantities are called vectors. Displacement, velocity, acceleration, momentum, force, torque, intensity of electric field, intensity of magnetic field, electric dipole moment, magnetic dipole moment, all these are vector quantities. All these are vector quantities. Right. Examples of vector. Right. Displacement, comma, velocity, comma, acceleration, comma, momentum, force, torque, intensity of field, dipole moment, etc. Okay. Look now. So, vectors and scalars are different physical quantities. Right? Vectors and scalars are different. So, we must show vectors by different symbols. Then only we can differentiate between scalar and vector. So, which are the symbols for vector? Very simple. Suppose you want to write displacement vector, you may write D, but you must put a short, small arrow over the symbol D. How to pronounce this symbol? Vector D. That's all. Velocity vector, come on, vector V. Acceleration vector, vector A. Force vector, vector F. Momentum vector, vector T. Torque vector, vector tau. Intensity of gravitational field, it is also gravitational acceleration, vector small g. Intensity of electric field, vector E. Intensity of magnetic field, vector B, etc. These are all vector quantities, correct? So this is the notation or symbolic representation. Now we go for geometrical or graphical representation. Come on, geometrical or graphical representation of a vector. Consider some example. Suppose particular train travels by 100 km. It travels by towards east. So how to represent displacement of this train graphically or geometrically? Very simple. We just put some line segment. Correct? But what should be the length of that line segment? I am showing you. Take some convenient scale measurement. For example, say 10 km is equivalent to 1 cm. Suppose 10 km is equivalent to 1 cm. It is sign of not equality, it is sign of equivalence. Sign of equivalence. So instead of 2, you must put 3 line segments. Got it? It is sign of equivalence. 10 km is equivalent to 1 cm. Multiply by 10 on both the sides. So it is here 100 km equivalent to 10 cm. So you must first of all draw, come on, a line segment PQ. Line segment PQ. whose length is 10 cm. But then just to indicate the direction of displacement which is towards east, you must put one arrow pointing eastward, this way. Here you must put one arrow pointing in the direction of east. Correct? Direction of east. This way. Okay? Now that end point where sign of arrow is placed is called head of a vector. Is called head of a vector. And another end point where arrow is not placed, it is called tail of a vector. Direction of any vector is always from tail to head. Always from tail to head. Correct? So this altogether, this whole vector, vector PQ, expresses displacement of a train graphically. Expresses displacement of a train graphically. You may write vector D. Vector D is equal to vector PQ. Simple. What do you mean by position vector? Normally it is shown by symbol vector small r. You take this point O as reference point. Point O as reference point, which is origin of Cartesian coordinate system. This is taken right now as reference point. You consider one particle which is performing translational motion in a plane passing through x and y axis, say surface of board. It is passing, it is just moving, and at time t, it is found to be at this very point, say point P. Then we would like to locate its exact position by help of some vector. And that vector is vector OP. Vector OP. Vector OP. Any vector which fixes up, which determines the position of a particle is only known as its position vector. It's a position vector. At a given instant of time, a vector which determines position of a given particle with respect to given reference point is called its position vector at that instant with respect to that reference point. At a given instant of time, a vector which determines position of a given particle with respect to given reference point is called position vector of that particle at that instant with respect to that reference point. Position vector depends on three vectors: time, particle, and reference point. Time, particle, and reference point. If any one or more than one quantities out of these three changes, then position vector would change. Okay? Magnitude of any vector. Say magnitude of vector A. It is shown by this symbol or by this symbol. When you write this symbol, how will you pronounce? Modulus of vector A. Say modulus of vector A. Say modulus of vector A. Or if you don't want to write this symbol, no problem, you may write this symbol. Correct? Remember, modulus of any vector will simply give you length of the arrow, which you express in graphical representation. In graphical representation, magnitude of any vector is nothing but length of arrow which represents that vector graphically. Okay? Now that modulus or magnitude of that vector is either 0 or positive. Either 0 or positive. It is never negative. Never negative. Never negative. Modulus of any vector is either 0 or positive. It is never negative. Then we go for parallel vectors. Tell me how to find these two vectors. That is true, but they are pointing in the same direction. They are pointing in the same direction. Such vectors are called two vectors having same directions. Two vectors having same direction are called parallel vectors. Because they are not intersecting each other, they are not making any angle between them, we take theta equal to 0 degree. What about anti-parallel vectors? Two vectors having opposite directions, one towards east, then another towards west, one towards right hand side, then another towards left hand side. Such vectors are called anti-parallel vectors. Simple. What is angle between them? 180 degree. 180. How? On the same line, you just place both the vectors. Say this vector I am shifting, I just bring it from here to here. And this vector D also from here to here. This is towards east, this is towards west. What is this angle?
180.
So remember, angle between anti-parallel vectors. Angle between it is 180 degree. Got it? Then, what do you mean by equal vectors? You can see in the figure, both the vectors have got same magnitude, same direction. Same magnitude,
Same direction.
they are called
Equal vectors.
two vectors having same magnitude, same directions, having
Same magnitude, same direction.
are called
Equal vectors.
because they are pointing in the same direction, then theta is 0 degree. Theta is
0 degree.
correct. I just utter one statement. Look at, just listen to it carefully. Huh? All equal vectors are definitely parallel vectors. But all parallel vectors need not be equal vectors. Need not be.
Equal vectors.
I repeat, all equal vectors are definitely, but all parallel vectors need not be equal vectors. Correct? How would you write equal vectors mathematically? Vector A equals to vector A. Look at this, opposite vectors or negative vectors. Say opposite vectors or
Negative vectors.
how to find these two vectors? Opposite in direction. Say
Opposite direction.
but yet they have same magnitude, same length or same magnitude. Correct? Two vectors having same magnitudes but opposite directions, having
Same magnitude but opposite direction.
are called anti-parallel, are called opposite vectors, are called
Opposite vectors.
or negative vectors, or
Negative vectors.
two vectors having same magnitudes but opposite directions are called opposite vectors or negative vectors. What about angle between them? Yes, because they have opposite directions. They got opposite, then angle would be 180 degree. Wait, how would you write mathematically the opposite vectors? This way, vector G equals to minus of vector H or vector H equals to minus of vector G. Simple. Here also that statement you can repeat. All opposite vectors are definitely, but all anti-parallel vectors need not be opposite vectors. Simple. What do you mean by A parallel vectors? How to find these two vectors? They are neither in same direction nor in opposite directions. Neither in same direction nor in opposite direction. Such vectors which are neither parallel nor anti-parallel are called A parallel vectors. Are called vectors which are neither parallel nor anti-parallel are called A parallel vectors. Simple. You should not pass any comment regarding their magnitudes. Their magnitudes may be equal, may not be equal. Correct? We are less concerned with the magnitudes, we are concerned with the direction right now. Okay? Come on. What is called null vector or zero vector? Null vector or
Zero vector.
whenever any vector is added with its null vector, with its negative vector, with its
Negative vector.
then the resultant vector obtained is called a null vector. Whenever any vector is added with its negative vector, the resultant vector obtained is called a null vector or zero vector. Plus, minus, minus. Vector A minus vector A, that is zero vector. Don't write zero, write zero
Vector.
because you are not subtracting scalar from a scalar, you are subtracting vector from a vector. Okay? Multiplication of a vector with a real number. Suppose vector A is multiplied by real number k. Real number
A.
Though you are multiplying with real number k, remember the resultant vector, correct? It has the same physical quantity as that of vector A. Suppose this is velocity vector and this number is 3, correct? So 3 into vector V, 3 into
Vector V.
it is velocity only. Na? Suppose this is force and you are multiplying by say 2. So 2 into vector F, say,
Two into vector.
but it will remain force only. Na? So here physical quantity does not change. Physical quantity
Does not change.
But regarding this multiplier, because it is a real number, there are three possibilities. K is either 0 or positive or negative. K is either
0, positive or negative.
Suppose K is 0. Put it here 0. 0 into vector A, that will be 0 vector. If K is positive, then direction of these and these are same. Means they are in the same direction, they are parallel. Vector B is parallel to vector A. Come on. If K value is negative, it means to say direction of this is opposite to that of vector A. Opposite. Say
Opposite.
so if vector A is like this, where is vector B? Like this. Correct? But if vector A is like this, here is vector minus A. Vector
Minus A.
so vector B and vector minus A. Vector B and vector
Minus A.
they will be in the same direction. They will be the
Same direction.
so now vector B is parallel to minus of vector A. Parallel to
Minus of vector.
got it? Multiplication of a vector with a scalar. Scalar means not mathematical number. It is not a mathematical number. It is a physical quantity for the complete representation of which we require only magnitude. They are scalar. They are
Scalar.
say if velocity vector is multiplied by a scalar, say mass, then mass into velocity gives you momentum. Mass into acceleration gives you force. In 7th chapter on rotational motion we study moment of inertia multiplied with vector alpha, which is angular acceleration, is going to give you resultant torque. Okay, fine. Addition of two vectors. Addition of two vectors. What do you mean by adding two vectors? Adding two vectors means finding only one vector which should give you resultant effect of both the vectors. Adding two vectors means finding only one vector, correct? Which should give you resultant effect of both the vectors. Anna? Fine. This addition is not carried out every time by simple algebraic method. If vectors are in the same direction, you can add them like scalars. If vectors are in just opposite directions, you can subtract them like scalars. But if vectors are not in the same direction, not in opposite direction, then if theta is not 0, theta is not 180 degree, then in all other possibilities, you are supposed to adopt special rules for the addition of two vectors. What is the need to add two vectors? What is the need? There is no example in the textbook. Look here. Suppose here there is a flow of water in a river, say in this direction. Look here this way. Water is rushing this way with some velocity, okay? One boatman is there who wants to drive his boat from one coast to another coast, from one end to another end. He wants to cross this river this way, correct? So he would drive his boat this way, correct, this way. But when the boat is driven this way, correct, when the boat is driven this way, what the water will do? Water will push the boat this way. So on the boat there are two forces. One is exerted by push of water, another is exerted by boatman, correct? He is paddling the boat this way. So on the boat there are two forces. One force is in this direction, another force is in this direction. Then where the boat should move? Definitely we can say boat will move in a direction which is between these two. In a direction between which is, but between these two means exactly in which direction? In this direction or in this direction or in this direction. Exactly in which direction? That is what, if we want to find out, then we need to add two forces exactly. And now to add two vectors, we have prepared two rules, two methods. One is known as method of triangle of vectors, another is known as method of parallelogram of vectors. I am showing you one by one. Method of triangle of vectors. Look, suppose this is first vector, say vector A. This is second vector, vector B. I want to add this vector with this vector. In short, I want to find out vector A plus vector B. Now what is that vector? I am showing you. Without changing magnitude and direction, shift this vector, say from here to here. Suppose this length is 10 centimeters, suppose. Then this length is also 10 centimeters. So this is pointing towards east, pointing towards east. This is also pointing towards east. That's why I am saying without changing magnitude and direction. Without changing magnitude and direction. And now you shift the second vector also, place it on first vector such that head of first vector, should become tail of second vector. Should become tail of second vector. Head of first should become tail of head of first vector should become tail of second vector. And now taking this two, as two sides of a triangle, you simply find out the third side of the same triangle. That third side is this. And it will give you resultant of these two vectors. Say resultant of? Resultant means addition. So you should write vector A plus vector B. But if it is giving you vector, then it should have fixed direction. What is that fixed direction? From the tail of first to the head of second vector. From the tail of first to the head of second. Tail of first to the head of second. Tail of first vector is here. And head of second vector is here. Just simply join this. Okay. You will get resultant vector, vector PR. Let it be shown by symbol vector C. Come on, apply it this way. Vector PQ plus vector QR gives you vector PR. Everybody. Vector PQ plus vector QR equals to. Now just give the symbols. What is vector PQ? Vector A. Don't say A. Say vector A. What is vector QR? Vector B. What is vector PR? Vector C. Fine. Now suppose somebody wants to add not B with A, suppose he wants to add A with B, correct? So he is taking this as first vector, he is taking this as second vector. No problem. Ultimate result will remain same. I am showing you how. This vector I just show it here, and now this vector I shift, I bring it here. Okay? I place it on this head this way. Now you can see this is your first vector, this is your second vector. On the head of first, there is a tail of second vector. And now tell me, if you take these two as two sides of a triangle, then third side of the same triangle will give you resultant of these two vectors, that is their vector addition. So you may write vector B plus vector A, or you may write vector A plus vector B, because ultimately it will be the same vector. Come on, how will you find out its direction? From the tail of first to the head of second. From the tail of first to the head of second. You can see these and these are same. These and these are same. Lengthwise also and direction wise also they are same. So don't bother whether to add first vector with second vector or to add second vector with first vector. Don't bother for that. Okay. Now we go for method of parallelogram. Simple. Vector A are shown here. Vector B are shown here. Take this as vector PQ. Take this as vector PS. Okay. And now taking these two given vectors as two adjacent sides of a parallelogram. You finish that parallelogram which is PQRS. Say PQRS. Now this parallelogram has got two diagonals. One is SQ, another is PR. One is SQ, another is PR. But among these two, which is that diagonal which is passing to the common tail of the two vectors? It is PR. PR is that diagonal which is passing through point P, which is right now common tail for both the vectors. Now take this diagonal, and that diagonal will give you resultant of two vectors, that is vector A plus vector B. Its direction is to be shown from common tail to the head of this vector. Correct? Come on. This is the resultant vector. Its tail is also just coinciding with the common tail of the two vectors. If tail is here, then here must be head. Correct? Whether you use this method or you use this method, result will remain same. So better to use this method because it is short and easy. Here you draw parallelogram, here you draw simple triangle. Simple, na? And now we go for method of polygon. Method of that is not given in the textbook for your kind knowledge. If you require to add more than two vectors, then you should adopt this method, which is called method of polygon of vectors. Method of as many vectors you want to add, you must show them graphically, and one by one, turn by turn, you should go on placing second on first, third on second, fourth on third, like that. Come on, how I have made the arrangement? Come on. Head of first vector is lying on the tail of second. Head of second is lying on the tail of third. Head of third vector is lying on the tail of fourth vector. If you want to add four vectors, then stop at fourth vector. And now, what is the first tail? First tail is here, and the last head is here. From the first tail to the last head. From the first tail to the last, you simply join, it will give you resultant vector. It will give you got it? Because it forms polygon, we call it method of polygon. Method of triangle, method of parallelogram, method of polygon. Okay? Write one very good sum. Write down. For a regular hexagon, A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. Having center O. Prove that this way. Vector AB plus vector AC plus vector AD plus vector AE plus vector AF is equal to 6 times vector AO. 6 times vector AO. Just draw this figure. I think you have written. No? Did you write? This was there on the board. Let me prove it first, then only you write. Look here. What is your left hand side? It is this. Okay? It's quite interesting, Saman. Look here. This is the left hand side. I require to prove it to be equal to 6 into vector AO. Where is vector AB? It is like this. Correct? Then vector AC is like this. Correct? Vector AD is like this. Vector AE is like this. And vector AF is like this. Correct? Fine. Now tell me, vector AB I just give as it is. Okay? Instead of vector AC, I just write new vector. Vector FD. Will do. Instead of this vector, I am writing this vector. Any problem? Same length. You see, same magnitude. Same. And same direction. Same magnitude, same direction. Same magnitude. Means they are equal vectors. They are equal vectors. So in place of this, I can write this. Correct? What is that vector? FD. Don't say FD. Say vector FD. Say. So in place of this, I am writing vector FD. Plus vector AD as it is. Correct? Now, instead of vector AE, I am writing another vector. Instead of vector A, I am writing vector BD. Vector BD. Instead of this, I am writing vector BD. Correct? And now plus vector AF as it is. Vector AF as it is. No change. Vector AB as it is now. I just shift this vector BD. I write it here. Vector BD. Vector BD. Plus this vector AD as it is. Then plus I am writing vector AF as it is, plus I am writing this vector FD, vector
FD.
FD. Now just combine these two. Have you noticed one thing? Whichever point is getting repeated, that is dropped. Vector PQ plus vector QR. Drop Q and join first and last. Vector PR. Correct? So come on. Vector AB plus vector BD. Look in the figure also. This plus this. Everybody look here. This plus this will give you this. Vector AB plus vector BD will give you vector AD. Vector AD. So this is nothing but vector AD. This vector AD as it is. And now add these two. This point getting repeated, you should drop. Common A and B. You can join. Look at the figure also. Vector AF plus vector FD. Vector AF plus will give you vector AD. So this addition gives me vector AD. Correct? Vector AD plus vector AD plus vector AD. Come on. 3 times vector AD. Okay? Come on. 3 into vector AD. Can you write? Vector AO plus vector OD. Can you write? Vector AD means what? Vector AO plus vector OD. Correct? Vector AD means what? Vector AO plus vector OD. But these two are equal in magnitude, same in direction. So these two are also equal vectors. These two are also equal. So in place of OD, vector OD, I can write vector AO. Vector AO. So it is 3 into vector AO plus vector AO. So it is 2 times. Say 3 into 2 times vector AO. Come on, 3 2s are 6. 3 2s are 6. So 6 into vector AO. 6 into vector AO. 6 into vector AO. Which was our right result? Your okay. Draw this figure right on this page. Alrighty. Last time we had seen, stop writing, about addition of two vectors. Okay? How can you add one vector with another vector? We had gone for two methods. Method of triangle of vectors, method of parallelogram of vectors. Very good. Now today let us see how to subtract one vector from another vector. Suppose I want to subtract vector B from vector A. So I want to find out vector A minus vector B. Okay? Can I write mathematically vector A plus minus of vector B? Can I write so? Plus minus minus. And last time we saw for vector B, what is minus of vector B? It's a opposite vector. It's a
Opposite vector.
or it's a negative vector. It's a
Negative vector.
correct. So subtraction of two vectors is nothing but subtraction of second vector from first vector is nothing but addition of negative of second vector with first vector. Addition of negative of second vector with first vector. Simple. Suppose this is vector A. Okay? And say this is vector B. If this much is vector B, then what is minus of vector B? Equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. Equal in magnitude, opposite in
Direction.
so same length you must show here, but just in opposite direction, this way, opposite to this, correct? So it is minus of vector B. Say,
Minus of vector B.
now without changing magnitude and direction, shift this vector from here to here. Just shift it from here to here, without changing magnitude and direction. If this length is suppose 4 centimeter, this also must be 4 centimeter. Correct? And whatever is this direction, same is this direction. है ना? So they are equal vectors. They are two vectors having same magnitude, same direction are called equal vectors. So if this is minus of vector B, this also is. Now tell me, how is the arrangement? You have placed tail of second vector on the head of first vector. And now, if you want to add this with this, the addition will give you that vector whose direction is from tail of first to the head of second vector. From the tail of first to the head of that vector is this. Correct? It is this plus this. So it is vector A plus minus vector B. Vector A plus minus of vector B. Arey Baba, plus minus minus. So finally you have got the vector which represents subtraction of vector B from vector A. Got it? Remember, vector addition is commutative. Vector addition is commutative. But vector subtraction is not commutative. Meaning thereby, vector A plus vector B, it is as good as vector B plus vector A. In the addition, you can change the order, no problem. But vector subtraction is not commutative. So vector A minus vector B is not equal to vector B minus vector A. Why? Why these two are not equal? Look, vector A minus vector B. Can I rewrite this way? Minus of vector B minus vector A. Can I rewrite like this?
Yes.
Can I take minus common?
Yes.
Minus of vector B, here it is. Minus minus vector A, here it is. Can I rewrite so?
Yes.
Now this is going to give you one vector. This is also going to give you one vector. Suppose this vector is C. This vector is C. And that equals to minus of this vector is suppose D. So last time we saw, when you write vector C equals to minus of vector D, what does it mean? They have equal magnitudes but opposite directions. So when they are opposite in direction, they are not same vectors. They are not equal vectors. They are not
Equal vector.
So vector C is not equal to vector D. Vector C
Not equal to vector D.
because they are opposite vectors. They are
Opposite vector.
so these two are opposite vectors. They are not equal vectors. They are not
Equal vector.
so vector A minus vector B is not equal to vector B minus vector A. In short, everybody must speak now. Vector addition is commutative,
Vector addition is commutative.
but vector subtraction is not commutative.
But vector subtraction is not commutative.
Simple. Read now statement of sum number 1, illustration number 1 in the textbook. Here we are given two vectors. Their magnitudes are also given. Their angles with the x-axis are also given. We are asked to find out resultant of those two vectors. That is vector A plus vector B. That is what we have to find out. Quite simple, huh? Here we are supposed to use the method. Using figure when you are finding the answer, it is called geometrical method. It is called geometrical method. Okay. This is also called analytical method. What is it called? Analytical method. Look here. Here we have x-axis as usual. This is y-axis. This is origin. Okay. Just give me protector. Protector, give me. Don't hesitate, I'll return you. Look, first vector look here on the board constantly. First vector is vector A. It makes angle 40 degree. Okay. So what you should do, the center point of this protector, you should make it superposing here at point O. And then as you go this way, anti-clockwise, this way, angle goes on increasing. It is 10 degree, 20, 30, 40, that's all, because this angle is 40 degree. So at 40 degree angle you should mark one point. Mark one point. Along the edge of the protector, you can mark one point. You just join that point with origin. That point with origin. Extend, extend, extend. How long? 6 centimeters. How long? 6 centimeters. Because they have given magnitude how much? 6 centimeters. 6 unit. Let it be 6 centimeters. 6 centimeters. Simple. There you should put the head of the vector. There you should put head of the vector. Let it be point P. Let it be point P. Starting from any point, if you draw horizontally right hand side axis, it is positive x-axis. Positive x-axis. So again you can draw one more axis. It is positive x-axis. Again there the center point of the protector you have to make them superposing. This way. And then now the angle is given to you 120 degree. 120 degree. So go anti-clockwise this way. 10, 20, 30 and so on up to here. This is 120. This is 120. Now that 120 angle, there you can put one point. There you can put one point. Join that point with this point P. Join that point with point P. Extend, extend, extend. How long? 5 centimeters. Using foot rule you can find out, say 5 centimeters. That's all. This is vector A. This is vector B. We want vector A plus vector B. Vector A plus vector B. From the tail of first vector to the head of second vector. Come on, join it. Correct? So you will get vector OQ. Vector OQ. Which represents addition of these two. Addition of these two. That is vector A plus vector B. Vector A plus vector B. It's going to give you resultant vector. Resultant. Resultant. That's why I given the symbol vector capital R. Now finding any vector. Finding any vector means. Finding any vector means finding its magnitude and finding its direction. Finding its magnitude and finding its direction. Magnitude is very easy to find out. Using foot rule you can find out this length. Correct? At home you must do this and you will get the answer 8.4 centimeter. 8.4 centimeters. So for direction is concerned, you are supposed to find out this angle made by this vector with positive x-axis, and that angle you will get 75.5 degrees. 75.5 degrees. 75.5 degrees. Using protector you can find out that angle. Okay? At home you must do it. This method is known as analytical method or geometrical method. Okay?